Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Daily Dose of Tammy, let me be your inner voice. If you're new here, I'm Tammy, a licensed mental health therapist and author of Lessons from the Listening Lady, Adolescence and Anxiety, a family guide to making the mind-body-spirit connection. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that's really close to my heart, and that's faith over fear. I was actually out shopping the other day, and I saw this little sign that said, faith over fear. And I had to stop and ask myself, what does that really even mean? This is something that on some level we all struggle with. Whether you're facing life changes and challenges or just everyday worries, the question always arises, how can we move past fear and cultivate faith instead? Well, today I want to share both a spiritual perspective and a psychological approach to help us navigate this powerful concept. So let's start by talking about fear. It's something that affects all of us. Whether it's fear of failure, rejection, loss, fear is actually a natural protective response of our brains. It's there to keep us safe, but sometimes it can become overwhelming and start controlling us rather than helping us. In my book, I take a psychological perspective and explain how fear is often linked to a part of our brain called the amygdala. This part of the brain is responsible for our fight, flight, freeze response. It's wired to react quickly when we sense danger. But in today's world, this same response can be triggered by more abstract threats like worrying about what others think of us or feeling uncertain about the future. But here's the good news. We don't have to be ruled by fear. In fact, there's a beautiful alternative, and that's faith. And I'm not just talking about religious faith, although that can be incredibly powerful for many. I'm talking about faith as a feeling, faith in ourselves, in our ability to grow and face challenges, and faith in the bigger picture of life itself. Now, let's look at faith from a spiritual perspective. Faith can be seen as a deep trust or belief that there is a higher purpose or force guiding us, something beyond our understanding. Whether you believe in God, the universe, or simply the energy of life, spiritual faith reminds us that we are not alone. We are a part of something much bigger than our individual fears. In many spiritual traditions, faith is seen as a source of strength. When we place our trust in something greater than ourselves, it gives us the courage to step forward, even when fear is telling us to stay small. Faith provides us with a sense of hope, of purpose, and ultimately of peace. I look at the concept of faith over fear as the space between having a desire and the time it takes to manifest that desire into reality. See, we all have desires, such as meeting a new partner, making more money, having a baby, or starting our own business. And in the time and space of identifying that dream or desire and the time it takes to make it a reality, you have a choice. You can go into a state of fear of disappointment, a fear of failure, and block that desire from coming, or you can go into a state of faith, knowing that your desire is already on its way, and all you have to do is trust the process and take inspired action to make it a reality. So how do we do that? First, you need to become aware of the story you're telling yourself. And when you identify a fear, anxiety response, I want you to acknowledge it and then choose again. One way to tap into faith is through practices like mindfulness or prayer. These practices can help center us and bring us into the present moment, where fear often fades away. When we're grounded in the present, we're less likely to get lost in our worries about the future or ruminate on the past experiences that have caused the fear. Psychologically, when we move from fear to faith, we can actually retrain our brain. It's like exercising a muscle. The more we practice faith, the stronger it becomes. One of the most important tools is cognitive reframing. This is a technique where we intentionally change our thought pattern. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, we start to ask ourselves, what could go right? Bringing conscious awareness to our thoughts. So let's say you're about to try something new and fear begins to creep in. Instead of thinking, what if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? I want you to shift the thought to, what if this leads to growth and makes my dreams a reality? What if I learn something valuable, regardless of the outcome? This shift doesn't mean ignoring the fear, but rather choosing to focus on the potential and the faith that you can handle whatever comes. The fear on some level is always going to be there. It's a natural human condition. The work is in learning how to go through the fear and get to the other side of it and step into faith and in the knowing that everything is happening for a reason and trusting that everything always works out even when we don't get the desired outcome. Because sometimes it's the lesson these experiences give us that is the true meaning of life experiences. Another big one is, in moments of fear, faith can also help us release the need for control. This was a big one for me. Sometimes we're afraid because we feel we have to have everything figured out. But faith teaches us that it's okay not to have all the answers. It's about trusting the process and believing that things will unfold as they should. If you're feeling fearful right now, you're stuck in a loop of anxiety, I want to encourage you to take a moment to reflect. Journaling can be a powerful tool in these moments. Write down your fears and then write down the ways you can lean into faith. For example, what are the things you've overcome in the past? How have you seen the universe or life show up for you before, even when things seemed uncertain? Remember, fear is a normal human emotion, but it doesn't have to control you. By embracing faith, whether it's faith in yourself, in a higher power, or in the process of life, you can begin to move forward with a sense of courage and peace. Faith over fear is about believing that no matter what happens, you have the strength and resilience to navigate it. You are supported, you are capable, and you are not alone. So as we wrap up today's episode, I want to encourage you to take a deep breath. Ready? I want you to close your eyes. I want you to connect to your heart, and I want you to affirm, I am okay. I am safe. I am growing and learning every day. I give myself permission to lean into faith and to release the fear from my life. And with that being said, I want to thank you so much for watching. Let's keep the conversation going by sharing your experiences in the comments. If you found this video helpful, share it with friends and family who need to hear this message. And please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, take care and remember, you got this.